What's this podcast called? All right.
Hello.
Here we are. Hello. We're back again with another episode of Hot Topic with Pickle and Bailey.
That's the name of the podcast.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Pickle.
And here we are with our very, very special guest,
Rachel Scanlon.
Yay!
She's so funny. She's someone that Pickle and I both knew before we knew each other.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I didn't know that. I just assumed that you guys had a longer friendship because you have a podcast together.
No, we are strangers to each other.
We don't like each other.
We don't like each other.
We're
enemies. We're enemies. It's like this podcast is thinly, but this is like The View. Like we don't speak.
No.
Constant fights.
We
Salary negotiations.
There's so much tension. There's a reason you have to sit in the middle.
I love it.
It's
We're
just a
moments
fight.
away from
Look
ripping
at how
each other's
excited I
eyes out.
am. I'm just clutching my hands for everything that I have.
True. Before we get to whatever this is, we've got business to attend to. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
We don't have any reviews to read.
No.
Which
Humiliating but true.
is humiliating, but we're all about honesty here on this pod.
Yes.
So leave us a review, 5 stars. We will
Yeah.
read any 5-star review out loud.
Happily.
I guess, happily. All our friends have already left reviews, so
They
we
have.
need
So
you
step
new
up.
listeners, new friends, and also you can follow us on Instagram at Hot Topic with Pickle and Bailey, and
Yes.
you can send us gifts.
We have our email address is actually just pickleandbailey@gmail.com.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so you don't even have to write in Hot Topic with
It's
Pickle and
so
Bailey.
little
It's just
work
Pickle and Bailey.
to send us an email.
So there's really no excuse at this
There's really
point.
no excuse that our inboxes aren't flooded with emails. So we're very excited, as you know, listeners. This is Hot Topics, so we pick a theme and then we write down topics and we put them in this bowl. Which, if you're watching.
Wow. If you're watching,
It's
what
a
happened was that
bowl,
a lot of
and
the topics spilled
fell
out.
But if you're listening, you don't get to see the bowl, so booey for you.
When we have a guest on, we have the guest pick the theme.
Yeah,
So Rachel,
and so Rachel picked a theme.
would you like to explain the theme?
I'd love to.
Okay.
I picked the theme firsts.
Love.
And
that
a lot
theme.
of times people are thinking, when do you lose your virginity? But this
Yeah,
topic
yeah.
can be first of any type of experience that
Very
you've had.
versatile, yeah.
The
Very
topic
versatile.
is first. Mm-hmm. The theme is first. Sorry, we have written topics. We don't know what the other people have written.
Yeah, we all
And-
took some time and wrote down our own thoughts on
Yes.
firsts.
Yes, and when you hear this bell, it means that we are moving on to a new topic.
Are you going to tell them that I fixed this bell, or are you just
Oh
going to
my
act like you
God.
guys just had this bell here?
Literally, listen.
There's a new member of the Hot Topic with Pickle and Bailey crew, and it is Rachel Scanlon.
And we need a lot of crew.
Look how fucking strong.
She's so strong.
I
She
do
has
say.
tattoos.
God hates a coward.
Popeye. Wow,
Yes, she
God
does.
hates a coward. I love
Yes, she
that.
does.
Yes,
God really
she does.
She does. We got, they arrived at my home where we film and record this. I mean, the glamorous Hollywood studio where we film and record this. And the bell was just broken. I just, that's how I am. You arrive and I'm just holding the pieces of the bell. And I'm like, somehow this is broken. And Rachel swooped in. When I handed you that bill, I was like, there's no chance.
Oh.
No one will fix
The
this.
second I saw those pieces, I was like, I'm putting that bell together,
And she
y'all.
did.
Putting it together.
Right away.
Yeah.
Like
Putting
it was
it
truly
together.
like 1 minute and the bell was repaired.
Repaired. And that's what it sounds like.
Can you believe?
What it does first mean to you? Let's discuss the topic a little.
Yeah. So for me, first is just the first time something happens.
Wow.
A new
Okay, genius,
experience.
yes.
And I don't mean to wax poetic here, but it's just when something hasn't happened to you before, and then it
Yes.
happens, and then it has happened.
And it's like the
And
first
you're changed.
time.
And I think when you're doing it right, you as a person can never be the same.
Ever.
I like firsts a lot as a topic because I feel like post-pand, I am collecting firsts again. Everything
Interesting.
feels like firsts again, and I'm newly into my 30s, and so everything I'm doing lately, also I'm sober, I am feeling I can't stop collecting new experiences. Last time we all saw each other, I was beat up from my surfing
That's right.
experience.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I
you were
can't
surfing.
stop trying new things.
That's wonderful.
Do you feel like the pandemic sort of was a catalyst for that for you?
I think so, definitely. Like, I think the pandemic kind of honed my skill of figuring out a way to keep things new and interesting because our resources were so small.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at finding new things to do around the house with my girlfriend. And I'm like, okay, so now that the world has opened up, I'm like, I have the habits of like keeping myself entertained.
Yeah.
And the world is at my fingertips.
Truly.
So I'm going big.
Endless resources.
Endless resources.
You are radiant. You are like just a bonfire of a person, and I love that
Trying
because I
new
feel
things.
I kind of feel like we all during the pandemic like branched out because I think there are two groups of people, right, who just like collapse into themselves and like have a very difficult time, which we all did in a way, but like I think the other group of people were like, okay, the world's smaller, what does that mean, and how can I like live in it, you know what I mean?
I think 100%. For me, because I feel similarly, where I'm like more teachable, I think that the pandemic handed me a lot of humility that I needed, and that was my takeaway, was that I became more teachable, so I started seeking new learning experience.
Yeah. Or I think also because we're all performers.
Yeah.
What?
So hello, I was singing.
Okay. I went to harmonize. I was too late.
Shit, you have to get on it so quick.
I am so
I feel like we all, when we weren't getting our claps every night. We weren't getting like the feedback from.
Never got claps.
Like I got booed every night. It was a nice change to go to bed with some peace.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have that, so then I tried to figure out like how can I get esteem from myself generated without like a group of people being like, we like you, you're funny,
you did good,
you are good. I had to be like, okay, so how the fuck am I gonna feel that way without that? And so then I was like, okay, we're gonna collect a lot of firsts. I think that's this year. It's been me collecting first-time experiences.
What a gorgeous explanation for this topic.
I love that.
So I listen, I don't want to be down on myself, but much better than mine.
Yours was beautiful.
Thank you.
Bailey needed your explanation. For those listening at home who literally don't know what the word means. And they are out there.
Half of our listeners are like, what?
Shall our guest pull the first
Yes,
topic?
please, Rachel.
Very exciting.
Here we go. Okay. We've got first heartbreak.
First heartbreak.
Rachel, when was your first heartbreak?
Okay, this is fun. Closeted in high school.
Oh, okay.
And we were in a secret relationship from sophomore year to senior year.
Oh my god, that's a long time.
That's the
3
formative
years.
years.
That's a 2-year secret relationship?
Yes.
Okay,
Still
go.
secret, by the way. I outed her on my special because she said I could.
Oh, that was nice.
Thank you.
Did it go? That's nice that you asked, and it was nice that she said yes.
It was nice. You know what? It was nice on everyone's account. But her name is very funny. That's why. And so
What is it?
it's Lauren Pepper.
Well, that
Okay,
sounds fake.
love that.
I
That
know.
sounds like a cartoon. That's
I
like
know.
Pepper Ann.
So if
yeah.
you're watching me tell these jokes, you're like, that's a fake name. But if you went to high school with me in Bloomington, Minnesota, you'd be like, I knew it.
I knew she was a lesbian.
Yes.
Wow, and they were together.
And when we were in our closeted type of, I really do feel like you guys are like my grandchildren, and I'm telling you like,
Well, you are, and we are.
here's what happened. You are, and we are.
Welcome to the multiverse.
You guys are my babies. You're my baby's babies, actually.
Babies. Your baby is dead.
When we were closeted together, about senior-ish year, we started getting our licenses, and she started sleeping with a guy that I knew in our show choir.
That's horrible. In your show choir? What is it with show choirs?
They're
sluttiest
I
group.
was just talking to someone who was talking about having all this sex in show choir.
Oh yeah, they're getting.
Have you
fucked.
seen
going
Glee?
on with that?
It is perverse.
Yeah.
Every second
If
of
they're
it.
coming after drag, they should be going after show choir.
Show choir, 100%.
Are you listening, Ben Shapiro?
Yeah, Ben.
No one's safe.
Who else was talking about how they were just having all this gay sex in show choir?
Yeah, there's a lot of queer people. There's a lot of performativeness, and there's a lot of closeness. You have to change in front of each other at like an interesting time in your life.
Intimate.
So there's a lot of built-in like trust, and intimacy, and then you're harmonizing, and everyone gets fucking hard when they're the 3-part harmony.
It's sex.
Wow.
When I have said this before, when you're harmonizing with someone and it hits, it's like, that's better than fucking. It's
100%.
like, oh, okay, I know you on to such an intimate level, and that's disgusting.
Exactly.
Okay, so Lauren Pepper
broke your heart.
Wow, yeah.
Did she tell you that she was gonna fuck this guy, or did you find out?
I told her not to.
So you sensed that
they were dating. They were like fake,
Was he in show choir too?
What's the word? He was in show choir, but he was
a beard.
Yes, like so we were trying to like kind of throw this in. I was like kind of dating a guy to be like, we'll see how this goes, because like we were very close, so I was trying to like throw this in off of no, we're not. It's not us. I'm like with this guy.
So there's a whole weird web of lies.
There was a web of lies, and I knew that they were getting close. And even though, by the way, if I may, he was so ugly and short.
I believe it.
Yellow teeth, and a sophomore.
A child.
When you're a senior,
you don't date a sophomore.
You don't date an
ugly sophomore.
Oh my god!
Not unless you love them.
Not unless they're like a blushing, beautiful.
Right? No, not
they never
this
are.
guy.
Cherub.
And so I told her not to. She was like, I won't, whatever. And they would hang out. And then I remember we had a sleepover, Lauren and I.
Were there any parents?
It's when you're.
Were all your parents
They were like, oh, we don't.
gone?
2 gals. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
What? Fuck?
What are they gonna do? Have a little pillow fight?
Wow.
Like we were in the clear.
Scissoring.
Wow.
So then she told me that they like. And it was one of the most dramatic nights of my whole. Because you're so young. So she told me in the middle of the night. That's the only time we could like talk. Yeah. Because we were deeply closeted. And so she told me, and I remember like trying to send her home at like 3 a.m. I was like,
magic.
We have to be like we were fighting.
You're trying to will her to tell
her
like out of the room.
I tried to get her.
I was like, were you like? Hexing her away?
She was banished from the castle,
Banished from her home.
We couldn't like fight. Well, you can, and that's the thing when you're closeted. You can't actually
tell anyone.
You can't actually have arguments. You can't really, and you can't ignore. People are like, why are you guys acting so? I mean, it's toxic.
Everything's
obviously.
underground.
It's so
right?
confusing. You have these weird, you're making out in the choir room in between classes, and then you're crying at night. Like, it's very confusing.
But also so heightened, it sounds like.
And exciting.
When you're in high school, any relationship, I mean, if your friend hurts you, you're devastated.
You're
the
so
world is
emotionally
over.
raw.
So then when you're actually in love with somebody, and then they tell you they sleep with somebody else, and then you're like, trying to banish them in 3 a.m. So I remember my whole like world was ended, and I was like so devastated. The betrayal.
Yeah.
And
that's very traumatic.
It was horrible. And I basically I like wrote jokes about that relationship until like 2017.
Wow.
Legitimately.
Just
like
draining it all out. Wow.
Yeah, trying to like somehow, because I think something about like, when you do comedy, you kind of get to like turn it into something that you have power over, where you're like, I get it.
Yeah.
And so I basically, I went through that for the first like 3 years of me doing stand-up, and it was a lot. But that was my first heartbreak. And then, funny, my old roommate, so when we recorded at my house, when you were on my podcast, that room actually used to live in my roommate, Mike. We lived together for 7 years, and he was in love with Lauren Pepper all throughout high school.
What is it about this Lauren Pepper?
This mysterious, charismatic
What is it about her?
I don't know, y'all. She was the first soprano and very tall, so it worked for a lot of people.
I love a tall woman.
And
a tall soprano.
A tall soprano.
Yeah, that's hot.
Emotionally closed off.
Oh,
they all are. They have
that girl.
Deeper net.
That's how they get those high notes. They close themselves.
Close those airways off.
Emotionally.
Pickle, what was your first heartbreak? Okay,
sorry,
stop.
I too was a first soprano.
Okay.
My first heart. I don't think I've had my heart broken. I don't think I've ever been in love. We talked about this.
That's right.
And I talked about it today. I sang at a retirement home today, and I talked about it.
I
for
heard
like
it on the
20
recordings. When you're like, hey, is the pianist sort of off?
Is the pianist sort of off?
And you go like,
I've never loved.
I've never loved.
It's like, I can't tell. The pianist is off.
I was performing for this, this group of older people. And I was like, I was like planning what I was going to say, and I was like, it's going to be so emotional. Like, they're going to be so, heartbroken. They're actually just focused on, staying awake.
Yeah.
So I'm pouring my heart out. I'm all like, I've never been in love. And, I was like, tell me what it's like.
Tell a joke!
And then I was like, oh, it's going to be so sweet. And then I was like, tell me what it's like to be in love. And like I was like asking them, like, what's it like to be in love?
Yeah.
And they were telling me, and they were getting kind of like, you could tell they were like remembering, like,
oh, really?
And I knew, I was like, I'm gonna make them remember.
Oh my god, you emotionally manipulative bitch.
I know, but it was very touching for me.
Wow.
I believe that is true because I don't think that I've fallen in love with someone, so I don't think my heart has been properly broken. Yeah. I've been upset.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been smashed into pieces.
My heart has not been smashed into pieces. I've always gotten over it.
I'm so jealous of that.
Quickly.
I wish I had that, like, untouchability.
That brokenness.
I fall in love and out of love constantly.
I just don't see, this is a matter of opinion, and, like, you can only diagnose yourself with love sickness.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think of that as love. I fall in with people and stuff, but I think of love as, like, you know, it like happens over time, and then it's something you just like when it happens to you, you know it. So I have yet to fall in love. It is still a yet for me, not even a first.
Damn.
So no heartbreak, not for Pickle.
Not
Can't
for
break
Pickle.
Pickle's heart.
Pickle is invincible.
It'll come though. It'll hit ya.
It'll come,
Yeah.
And then I'll be that person like you read about in the newspaper who like stabbed someone.
Yes.
Honestly, when it happens, Rachel and I will be here to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
The little
Oh my
pickle
God.
pieces.
What was your first heartbreak, Bailey?
His name was Jared. I was 12.
Jared.
Jared. He was so tall. He was a basketball player.
Gorgeous.
And this is what happened between us. We were sitting together at lunch. He did not hold my hand. I noticed because I put my hand right on my knee, sort of in a very like obvious, like
Hold
I'm
my
ready
hand.
to be held position.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like one of these.
Sort of
You just held out your hand like this, just like on his hand. You just grabbed his hand.
I go, do it.
Hold my hand. Yes, so he
It was
wasn't
very
reading
bad.
your cryptic signals.
No, and this is okay. So he didn't pick up on it, whether he didn't want to or he was aloof and like didn't realize it because I didn't out and say like, hello, I need physical touch.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
sometimes
12 and I
people-
need physical touch.
Sometimes people just put their hands on their knees.
Sometimes they do, and anyway. So in my mind went, wow, he's waged war against me. It's over.
Uh-oh. And if you've listened to this podcast, you know that Bailey scorned.
Watch
it.
out. It is,
Bailey
I turn, I
Gets
change.
very violent.
And this time I did. I was emotionally violent, and I was like, wow, I can't fucking believe this. And I caused a whole mess. I wrote him this note, and I was like, if you can't hold my hand at lunch... I was
lunch.
like, you bastard, if you cannot fucking hold my hand at lunch, I don't want any part of this.
I need
God.
to find this note.
I wish I had it. So I gave it to my best friend, Macy.
To give
So
him
kind of
a-
like spell check.
Yeah, I was like, look over
Let
it.
me, bounce some ideas
Maybe
off
punch
you.
it up a little.
Yeah.
I was like, I folded it up in this like very special like origami way that you do when you're in middle school.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, Macy, give this to him, find him.
Oh my God.
Give it to
Who's
him.
this Macy? You're just your
She's my
bitch.
best friend. No, and this was like not fair for me to have done because I was crazy. I was like not well, and I gave Macy the note. I was like, yeah, give it to him. And
Give it to Jared.
give this to Jared.
Bring this to Jared.
She did, and so Jared and I were broken up after he read the note, and I knew this.
So you were together.
Oh, we were together.
Oh,
we were
see, I
very
didn't know
much
What grade are we talking when you're 12?
seventh grade.
Oh, seventh grade.
Seventh grade. And
So you were
emotions are high.
in a relationship,
Oh.
and you
and I
went
end it.
around, yeah.
And I end it. I did not directly communicate. This was a good indicator of a lot of problems that were to come in later relationships. But after Macy gave him the note, this is fucking psychotic. After she gave him the note, we were broken up. And I, out of nowhere, was like, why did you give him the note?
You turned
You
on
gaslit
Macy.
her?
I gaslit Macy, and it was fucked up.
You turned on Macy.
Also, I want to say Macy.
I knew there was more coming.
Something was coming. Yeah.
Macy listens to this podcast.
Hey,
avid
Macy.
listener. Macy, you are a fucking angel. You deserved better than me. in that moment.
I can't believe you did that to Macy.
I can't believe I did that to Macy.
You literally shot the passenger
probably,
as the deliverer, which is so nuts.
She's probably...
I shot the passenger and I sent the message.
She's probably sobbing listening to this. Yeah. Like, finally, like, being like, I'm finally getting the justice.
No, and I think, like, she and I were so close. We have the same birthday.
Cute.
We're still very, very close. I'm going to be the maid of honor at her wedding next year. And, like, we're great. And things are fine. But I was a little agent of chaos. And I caused some trouble between Macy and I. And so when there was ever tension, it was
Jared
my fault.
the note?
Why did you give Jared the note?
Wow. That's nuts.
It was psychotic.
That's
and she was like, you told me
to. As being a good friend.
Well, good for Macy for, like, not allowing you to...
Yeah, no, Macy, she's so strong. She, like, stands up for herself. She was not having my shit, honestly, nor should she have.
Fuck Jared for not holding your hand.
Yeah, it really goes back to Jared, though.
Yeah.
If Jared had held my hand, literally none of this would have happened.
Well, you know who else sends notes?
Who?
Passive-aggressively. Anna Karenina.
Oh my god.
As everyone knows,
is this the book?
I'm famously
Are you still talking about this book?
Pickle?
I famously am reading Anna Karenina.
Cannot stop talking about this fucking book.
Anna Karenina. So much happens in that book that you can bring it up in any conversation.
You let this happen on...
Regularly.
I try to turn it.
Listen,
I go,
you abused Macy.
I go.
I can do... Okay, we'll pick a topic.
No, I'm sorry. You can finish.
We're moving on. I just wanted everyone to know that I'm almost done with Anna Karenina.
Almost done? Congratulations.
Yeah,
I'm
wow.
It's a pretty big accomplishment.
Truly, it's been like a year.
I started 2 books, and I've been waiting to tell you that this whole time. 2 books at once, like some fucking book slut.
Book slut.
Yeah, 2 at once.
What are you, a librarian?
Basically, it's very.
I'm gonna pick a topic. First kiss.
First
Ooh!
kiss.
First
Who was
kiss.
your first kiss?
Mine was Josh.
Another J name.
This was after Jared. This was after my heart.
Pattern?
Yeah, I dated a lot of J names. I've dated 2 people named Zach. I've dated a ton of Dans. I don't know.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're truly.
No, you can't escape Dans.
No,
you really can't.
No. My first kiss was with Josh. I was 12. Josh had a huge zit under his lip, and he would walk me to class, and every day, and he would just like leave after that. And I was finally like,
it's time.
And I went, this is how it happened. It was like, imagine there's like rain pouring inside in a middle school.
Yes.
And I was like, he dropped me off at my class, and I was like, are you ever gonna kiss me? And he...
What, do you have writers?
The drama. How many movies had you seen in this point? I mean, this is very like...
I was rewatching Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants over and over.
Same, but for different reasons. Like, Lively did a lot.
Oh my god, wow. She really did. Her soccer playing, her pouring a bottle of water over her head.
Let's take off those traveling pants.
Any 90s movie about sports and women was a lot for me.
Bend it like Beckham?
Stop, and I bent it. Yeah, I did. Wow.
So I go, are you ever gonna kiss me? And he really rises to the occasion. He like leans in. It's a passionate kiss. He puts his hand on my ass.
On your tush?
Yeah,
his
hand on the ass.
Josh. Pubescent hand.
Yes, his tiny little
Josh. Like if we watched this happen now, it'd be upsetting.
Yes.
Oh,
like,
it was like those
heinous. Children are caressing one another.
Yeah, and so and that was our first kiss, and I was like, damn. And then a bunch of my friends saw. They were like,
all downhill from there.
Wait, people saw? Yeah. Was this broad daylight?
This is in the hallway.
I thought it was raining.
No, it's not. In my mind, it was very cinematic, but like it was truly just in a middle school hallway.
Fluorescent lights. Yeah, a lot of jams, a lot of lockers.
Yeah. Oh, Axe body spray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my friends were like, Bailey, that was like really hot. And I was like,
I know.
That was really hot. Josh's really little hand on your butt.
Josh is a little tiny, like, barely formed placenta hand caressing your...
Where your ass will someday be.
Yeah. It was big.
Caressing the bone that will soon carry ass flesh.
Bailey, that's so sweet.
Isn't that hot? Okay,
that's really hot.
Yeah,
that's like really hot. My first kiss. My first kiss was a boy named Matt, and he was very sweet, big juicy lips. We like kissed in like 3rd grade. I started young.
Oh my god.
So I was kissing. I've always loved, and so we basically like kissed right by a playground. and then ran back to my house, and then his older brother picked him up. But we were like, we did it. The deed has been done. Like, it was ready. It was time. My first girl kiss, though, was a lot more drawn out and, like, you know, really a lot of tension, the type of, like Netflix throwing in a queer character in Charmed type of vibe, where you're, like, waiting and waiting and waiting, and then, you know, finally.
How old were you?
I was probably 13 or 14. So, like, I was younger, but I was, like, a sophomore in high school. Mm-hmm. And we were, like, measuring each other's noses.
And was it...
Okay,
weird activity.
But I feel like that's one of those things that's like you're touching.
Yes.
You're like
getting closer.
Yeah.
You're kind of like you're feeling.
You're
like,
making up
the closeness.
Totally.
You don't quite know that you're like, why do I want to just like
wait? Why are we acting like measuring noses is like a common?
It's not about measuring noses.
It's about creating a situation in which
no.
That your faces would be touched.
You've never loved.
It's still weird to be measuring your noses.
It was.
I feel like I'm being gaslit about this. This is not something
measuring
that people
it with each other's noses.
With each other's noses?
Oh. Yes.
Who said, like,
let's
measure each other's noses?
So it's a very gay, like,
code?
Some type of, like, you know when you're, like, two
I'm gonna say
when you're
that.
two girls can be, like, so physically close and still be straight.
Yeah, totally.
Like, they can be so, like, all the basic, cuddling, like, snuggling, fucking making out to see if your boyfriend's gonna like it. That's my impression of a straight girl.
Yeah, okay.
Wow. And then, so, it was, like, very much... You could basically do anything, and then, the kiss happened as we were measuring noses, and then we were both like...
Was it devastating?
Oh, no. Yeah, it was a lot. It was drama, but then we, like...
It was amazing.
Did you kiss again?
Mm-hmm. And then it was over. My life was over.
Oh,
I was like, oh, no!
It's truly, you can't go back.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow.
Show choir was never going to be the same.
My first kiss, I think I was in, like, you know... kindergarten or something, or like first grade, but it was not super erotic. It was just with this girl. I think her name was Kira, and we would make out in like the gym.
Tongue?
We were like smashing each other's faces, like we were trying to imitate something.
That is so funny.
Unless I hallucinated all this,
no,
but
this is
I
good.
have
surely
a
not.
vivid memory of it.
It's so. Children are sexual, and it's uncomfortable for everyone, but they're just people, and so it's like experimenting in that way is so normal.
Yeah.
But you know, we were just kissing, and then my first gay kiss was a senior. I was a freshman in high school, which when you look at it is a little bit creepy. But it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 13, he was 18. I don't know.
Well, when you say it like
sus.
that,
that's quite the age difference.
His name was Will, and we had to meet in the 3rd-story bathroom of the lab building, and we just kissed.
That's so sweet.
Pretty amazing, yeah.
Aww.
It was sweet, yeah.
Did you know? Were you guys friends?
No. There were a lot of gay people at my school.
And was he out?
In LA. He was out.
Did you guys get summoned in there?
I was coming out at the time. He was kind of
showing you.
Grooming me?
Okay. Hey.
Not grooming
You're
me.
like, but it was sweet.
It was a gentle grooming.
It was like, not grooming. I mean, from I think a technical point of view, maybe a little bit. But like, that's gay life though. It's like, gay life happened in the shadows. Like, it's like you can't, it's just different. It's like, it's, you don't know.
Age differences, people being married, these things are a lot more common, and it's not like, there's nuance.
There's nuance. But so we kissed in the bathroom.
What would you rate the kiss out of 10?
Ooh, yeah.
A 10, because it was such a firework.
It was powerful.
Powerful.
What would you rate yours? Like your first real kiss.
First real kiss, I'd give it, probably a 9.5. The only reason it's not getting a 10 is because it was very conflicting emotionally. Because I was like, I'm in trouble now. Like, I was like, I'm going to go to hell. And this is a problem.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't have all that.
That's really nice that you didn't have that.
Yeah.
It was like equal parts perfect passion love, because we were in love. And then a little bit of like, I'm going to be...
This is actually bad, yeah.
I was already, because I came out so young. I came out when I was 8. But like, so I was... And then I kind of, in middle school, it was like... just like don't ask, don't tell, like I had no sexuality really, but like I wasn't like dating boys in middle school or anything. But I had come out, and then so it was kind of just like a return to that.
That's sweet.
In early high school, so it wasn't shocking.
Yeah.
To anyone.
God, when you were 8.
Yeah, I just like turned to my stepmom and was like, "I'm gay." Like it was a whole thing that I did.
I love that.
That's amazing, actually.
Very odd.
Wait, what would you rate?
Mine was a 7. It's fine.
Too late.
It was a
We
7.
rang the bell.
Sorry,
No,
Josh.
Sorry, Josh.
Sorry, Josh.
If you're listening, she said 10, and they didn't cut out a 7.
All right.
That's generous.
First
of
date.
you. First date. God, I don't remember my first date, to be honest.
My first date was to see Tristan and Isolde.
Oh, that's right.
5.5 hour long opera with a boy named Daniel Alley.
Whoa.
And I fell asleep.
The opera?
The opera.
Wow.
Did you get any after?
No.
Cute.
We were just like sweet, but we were already together at that point.
How old were you?
14 or 15.
At the opera?
And it was like
a
Why are
date.
you so like
You're
cultured?
Sophisticated.
Is it just from growing up out here?
I don't know. I wasn't like, oh, let's go to the opera. He was like, let's go to the opera.
Okay,
so he was
alright,
more
yeah,
cultured
yeah.
than me. He was a violinist.
No, I hate the
violinist.
string section.
I know the string section.
I-
They're
so
very,
pretentious.
Very pretentious.
A cello player, I'd rather fucking die.
I know. So he was like,
I would
let's
love
go
to
to
date
see
a
this
cello
opera.
player.
And I was
Ugh.
like, okay, fine. Free tickets, whatever.
Sure.
We go. It's like, really long. And the most famous part of Tristan and Isolde is sort of what it's known for is, it's Wagner, so do with that what you will. But he was super anti-Semitic. The first 5 bars of music are like the iconic kind of like scholarly moment of Tristan, where it's like it's an unresolved phrase of music that's like really like important and significant. I was 5 minutes late.
You missed it.
We missed it.
Oh.
I felt very, very
shit.
bad.
Duped.
And
Damn.
he was like, "It's okay." Because then you have to sit through,
Yep.
5.5 hours. And the
Shit.
second act, I fell asleep on his shoulder.
That's very
And
sweet.
I'm sure
Aw.
I snored because I talk in my sleep.
What do you think you said?
Because I went to open a candy, and he was like, "Don't do that."
Wow,
And
ew,
this
fuck
woman-
him, fuck him.
Yeah,
That's
you need a
restrictive.
Kit Kat at intermission every time.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of the opera. It
Whatever.
truly required
You brought the
that.
candy from home?
Yeah, I did. It was my bad. I was about to open a candy and like people were weeping. And it was really
You were
bad.
like,
Oh, pickle.
I love
I'm like,
that.
Do you remember what candy it was?
it was some kind of gummy.
That sucks. Yeah, it was a gummy is one of the worst options in that scenario.
You're like,
We
it was
just saw it happen.
corn nuts.
Pork rinds.
It was actually just like a turkey leg that I pulled out
Full
of the
hammock.
Tupperware.
It's
It was
wrapped
like
somehow.
It was like slow cooked ham.
It was tinfoil wrapped corn on the cob. I don't know why everyone was so fucking weird about it.
Jesus.
And
It's
he just
classic
looked
opera
out of
snack.
Out of the corner of his eye, he was just like, "Don't." He was like,
No.
okay.
Stop it.
And I held on to that until now.
Wow.
Still talking about it.
But to be honestly, if that were me, if someone tried to shush me trying to eat a Kit Kat during
Yeah.
the opera, I would be like, then get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
100%.
The entire second act of Tristan and Isolde is a balcony scene where they're just singing about each other's love. I mean, like, how many...
Boring.
We get it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
you've never
2
loved.
hours.
So,
Well, yeah,
okay.
I've
How
never
could you
loved.
know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
2 hours.
That's too long.
One act. Keep in mind, 5.5 hours long. The opera had to start at 2 p.m.
No.
And we got out after you take into account the 2 intermissions. We got out at like 9.
That's too
or like
long.
8. It was daytime when we started. It was nighttime when it ended.
That's jarring.
And nothing happened.
Bailey
They're
would
on
have
a
fallen
boat.
in and out of love by the time that
I
truly
know,
the opera
you
was
could've.
over.
I truly would have.
First act, they're on a boat. A lot of things happening. And then second act, they're on the balcony. Third act, they're like in a forest or something.
No.
And someone died. They all die.
No.
Good. If
But-
they all die, good.
Yeah, good. Worth it. But each act was like 2 hours, an hour and a half at least. It's
Ugh.
too much.
Ugh.
What was your first date?
Yeah, Rachel.
I also had a date at a play, not an opera, but when I was trying to do my bearding moment when I was a senior, a
Yeah.
very tall gentleman took me on a date. I had hickeys from the girl I was in the closet with.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wore a scarf.
Is that why you're wearing an ascot today?
I'm still a little fucked from surfing.
Lord.
Oh, okay.
But also
those aren't leftover hickeys from
still her.
from
Oh my god,
junior
imagine.
high school.
Gingers take a long time to heal. But I learned that like lesbians wear ascots now, so I had to like.
It looks
You have
great.
to
This is like the new carabiner.
I really like
there
the
a
color
lesbian Vogue
combination
that
too.
comes out?
Thank you. Yeah, you go to Dag Day and you're like, okay, we're doing fucking messenger hats or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I
Were
had
you
a
there?
storyteller there. I was almost there, but I wasn't available, so I sent Valora in my stead.
Oh, that's
Wow.
always booked.
Oh,
Always booked.
Pickle fucking works.
That's hot.
Is the thing.
I've worked once, and then I was like, I don't really like this.
I never feel like I'm happy.
Anytime I get booked, I go, I don't know if this is for me.
I don't like it when people complain about how busy they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just so busy. I'm like, then
Crazy
don't. If you're
busy.
overwhelmed, then
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went to.
Okay,
What
so
play?
he asked me to see this play with him. I said no. And
Wow.
he said, you will love this play. You have to come with me. My mom and I
He
are
didn't
going.
Respect your no.
He didn't respect my no.
Red flag.
But here's a green flag for me. That he knew me well enough to know that this would be something that I would like. And I absolutely loved it.
What was the play?
That's hot. That's
The
actually
play-
really hot.
Oh, and he took me to see The Killers. Okay, not a bad beard. Like,
No.
pretty good beard.
Yeah.
A lot of live entertainment for
Maybe
free.
you should have stuck it out.
I should have. Wow. I had a memory flash back in.
You would have been miserable, but he would have been so considerate.
He would have been so happy.
You had a lot
He
of
married
perks.
a bisexual woman who looks just like me.
Wow.
Which is very sweet. Like, I think that
That's a
he
tribute
he
to
got
you.
what
had
he
her
needed.
change her name
To Rachel.
He calls her Rachel sometimes.
She was also in our show choir, of course.
God, how many people were in this show?
A lot,
choir?
and they all fucked each other.
What was the song that you guys were like, this is us?
I
This
had a
is our
solo
song?
to I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany, which is a
Okay.
closeted anthem, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, that is a story about a hidden love. Anyways.
Yeah.
amazing.
I think, yeah, Tiffany, we crushed that one. We won a lot of competitions. Yeah, I'm bragging.
Yeah.
So Alan, the
what
guy,
was the play?
it was Spring Awakening.
The musical?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's a great. I love that musical.
Oh, it was
musical.
unbelievable. Sorry, yes, a musical. It was so good. I was
it a
like,
touring production?
yeah, it was unbelievably good. And
Yeah,
it was
Would've
like
been
me,
the
him,
first
and his mom.
tour of that show.
Yeah, when it came out, when I was
Yeah.
in high school. Yeah, it had just.
And you loved it.
I loved
There
it.
was gay shit in
There
that.
was gay shit, and
Not
it was
definitely
very
girl
cool.
on girl gay.
Not girl on girl gay, but still the same idea.
The
You know what I
feminine
mean? They were
men.
very singy. You know what I
They were
mean?
very feminine.
It worked for me on a lot of
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah,
And
they
they.
had blonde hair. And the first Hanshin in that touring Hanshin was bleach blonde.
Yeah.
You recall, yeah.
I just watched.
Why do I know that?
They just. Did you watch the new thing about? Because it's like the 25th year anniversary of Spring Awakening, or
Well,
some
that's
other shit, or
can't be
20
right.
some anniversary came up. So the original cast did a show on HBO, and they redid some of the songs for a live audience post COVID.
When did that happen?
Like they just came out a few
Oh,
months
I
ago.
didn't know that.
That's amazing.
You have to
I
watch
loved
it.
that musical.
Me too, it
I
changed
saw
me.
that same tour.
It was so good.
It was great.
I cried the whole time.
I wept.
It was an amazing date,
After
honestly.
spending a long time being like, I'm not gonna like that.
And then
Loved it.
same. I was like, I'm not gonna want to be on this date watching this musical.
Yeah. The
But I
lyrics are
loved it. I loved the whole thing. I still listen to the music.
I do too.
And I remember a time when I was closeted and angsty right when this like angsty musical came out.
It was great.
It was really good. We also made out afterwards, as you do.
Ooh, yeah.
And
Of course.
he.
It's so erotic to watch children kill themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a lot going on in that musical. A lot.
So many storylines.
Yeah.
A lot of storylines.
Upsetting
A lot of
storylines.
devastating
Yeah.
storylines. Almost a double suicide.
Failed abortion.
Failed abortion turning to death. I mean, a lot of drama. And I was like, let's French right now.
It's hot. Macy and I all contemplated singing
Also
"Mama
saw
Who
Spring
Bore Me"
No.
for the talent show, and then we were
God,
like,
you
we
did
we shouldn't.
Oh, wow.
I've done Mama Who Bore Me.
Really?
As a drag queen.
Oh my god.
It's a great song.
It's a good
If you need
song. Not a
harmonies,
great
yeah,
drag
okay.
queen.
We would
Not
do
a
it.
Let's all
great
go
drag
on the
queen.
road.
And no problem. We would
Let's do a
easily.
3-person Spring Awakening.
I recorded myself doing all the parts to
Wow.
the reprise. of Mama Who Bore
Can
Me.
you cut to
It
playing
sounds-
it?
It sounds terrible. It sounds really bad. I am not good at harmonizing.
It's hard.
I have a nice voice, but I cannot harmonize. It's not my gift. I'm a melody person. I just,
Great. We'll
I'm
take
a
it.
harmony person. I
you
like
can
to do
all
harmony.
work around.
We'll take it. You can
I'll
take the
just-
melody.
Yeah.
We'll
And
take
my
the rest.
melody might go other places.
You're like, I
But
might
you-
step
that's
on
why-
your toes.
That's why you need to adapt, or you'll sound wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
We have to get on board with your chosen keys.
Yeah, so you saw Spring Awakening for your first date.
Spring Awakening, it was great. Yeah.
Also cultured and weird.
Yeah, very much so. But he was like the only atheist in our school. So his family was very like not liberal
cool.
and like
They
cool
were like,
and like
let's go see this trendy musical
Yeah,
they
yeah.
stand on chairs.
exactly.
What was your first date, Bailey?
Like, I truly don't remember. I wasn't really allowed to date, and the thing that's coming up, and you two are so cultured, and I want to let you know, I think that's great. I'm pretty sure mine was going to Taco Bell.
Yes.
Which is where I gave my boyfriend
A blowjob, that's right.
Multiple blow,
on separate
jeez.
occasions. It was our spot.
Ew, I'm sorry, not to state you, but was it in the drive-thru?
No, it was in the bathroom.
That is muy delicioso. If I
And
may.
it's
You
here in
may.
Los Angeles. It's on Robertson and Venice.
Let's go.
Or not Robertson, but it's on Venice Boulevard. And I used to ride my bike with my friend. And I always point it out. I'm like,
That's where
the Taco Bell. And he's like, I know.
You tell us every time.
I feel like one of the first real dates I can remember going on, because my parents didn't let me date really until I was like old enough to drive and like even then. But I went on a date with my first like real boyfriend.
What was his name?
Brady.
Hi, Brady.
His name is Brady. And he was awful. And I went on a date with him and his parents to the movies. And I remember I like gave him a handy.
Parents there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was like very discreet about it. It was like
Wait,
jacket
not in
over the
front of
lap.
them.
Nope. They were sitting there. It was
Bailey!
I know. And okay, but
I
listen.
had friends that did that.
It was jacket over the lap.
That is so
I gave him a
sick.
hand job. I didn't like read. It wasn't like skin on skin. It was like through the pants.
Oh.
But he came in his pants.
No.
And then he got mad at me.
Wow, typical man.
Typical.
He was like, these jeans are hard to clean.
oh
and I was like, what
my
the
That's
God.
what he was
Yeah.
upset about.
Yeah.
He got a hand job.
Yeah. And then
sort
he
of.
came in his pants, which was rude of me.
There's so much to this story that, do you remember what movie it was, perhaps?
Were your parents just so engrossed in the movie? Do you think they knew?
They must have known.
I honestly don't know.
How would
Don't
they have
know.
reacted?
They would have been really mad. They
Yeah.
were very
Would they have
Christian.
said something?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
But,
think
like,
they would have
maybe
said
they were just,
something.
like, in full time.
No, I really think we got away with it. I really think we did.
Well, now they know.
Well, now they know. And Angie and Alan, if you're listening to this, it happened multiple times, and every single time he came in his pants, he was mad at me.
I have a question.
Okay.
Did he ever touch you back?
No!
Well, that makes it a
God,
little
no.
better, I
He
guess.
wouldn't know what to do with that. No, I didn't even know I could have an orgasm until I was 17.
Oh
and
my
I'd
God.
already been having sex for like 3 years at that
Oh.
point. And I didn't
Okay.
I didn't
Oh,
know.
man.
I didn't know girls.
You weren't
could-
coming at all?
No, I didn't. I was like, yeah, sex is fine.
Oh, right.
It's hot.
Mhm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
I also had a gentleman coming in his pants for me.
Really?
That boy from show choir, and
Classic.
I had been kissing one girl for so long, like, because we were Frenching so much
This
and
was
making out
Pepper?
so much. It was Pepper,
Then you
and
Pepper
I
more.
had only been kissing like a girl, so no penis and like a lot of like titty and ass play. So I was kissing this guy the only way I knew how, which was like how you kiss girls.
Yeah.
So a lot of like whatever, a lot of like almost
touching his
scissoring
breast.
type of stuff, because I was like used to touching his like pecs. I'm like, I don't know, what do I do with my hands? There's like nothing to touch. LOL. I was very gay, and I didn't know what was going on because I was like not sure. I was very unclear. For me, it was very experimental.
You're
Like,
just like fingering his pussy.
I was trying so much to finger his pussy. He was like, "What are you doing?"
Which he would have loved.
And like at one point he stops and he's like fully red in the face, probably like how I look right now. And he was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I got too excited. And I remember thinking like, what the fuck could that possibly mean?
Excited.
And then when he came back, he was like, you gotta take me home. I need a change of clothes. And then I was like, no, because I realized
Oh
what
my
had happened.
goodness.
what if he shit himself?
I wish so much that it was that, because I remember thinking like, how can someone be so aroused and the other person so unaroused?
Yeah, totally.
Like,
wow,
how
you
could it
didn't
be-
feel anything. You were just mechanically very good.
Right. Well, I was just like, nah, like you do this, you do that, you squeeze a little ass, you have a little fun.
You make them come.
you always make them come, kid.
A, B, C.
Yeah.
A, B, M, C.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
becoming, making.
Always be making them come. Do you think that he's a lesbian?
No.
Because he was like experiencing that.
He was, I mean, I don't know. I think
he, like,
maybe, I think like he's young. He was young at the time. Probably.
Being touched intimately, like, can really.
Yeah, and like, you know, we were like laying down. So like maybe that felt very sexy to him.
Yeah. Okay. Whose turn? Is it yours?
Turn again.
To draw?
To draw. Yeah, I pulled one.
Which one did you
I
pull?
pulled the one that we just did.
Okay.
Did you pull one?
I did. Yeah, so it's your turn.
I've never been warmer in my life.
It's hot in here.
It's really warm, but that's Hollywood.
First time you did stand up.
We've all done stand-up.
Did you write this, you cutie?
I did.
You're so cute, Bailey.
Hand up. Why would you bring that into the space?
This is our safe
it's a
space.
sacred safe space.
Yeah. I want to hear about the first time you did it.
First time I did stand up,
Yeah.
we're talking, I was 22, so it was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And
18, 37.
I'm a child, I'm very young still. And I was working at Flappers, so I worked the ticket booth.
Oh my
Flappers.
god.
Yeah, which is where I met Roz, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
For Flapper days.
And because I worked at a comedy club in Minneapolis first, and then I moved out here and I was like, I only have like door guy experience. So I worked at a comedy club called Flappers, which is one of the least reputable clubs in all of Burbank. And I worked at ticket booth, and they had a open mic night, and I, like, after your shift, you can ask the manager for a drink ticket and a work-in spot. So I would get a drink, and then you could go bump the line of the open mic. So I had my first open mic. I was in my, like,
Health
work
insurance?
Clothes.
No thanks.
No.
A drink ticket? Yes, please.
Sign me up. Front of the line for open mic.
To some, that is health insurance.
That is health
yes,
insurance.
babe.
That's safety.
Yeah, and I had
Safety.
I think that they gave 3 minutes. I brought notes on stage, and I thought about the jokes I was gonna do all day. It was very much like my first joke was something like, "Oh, I have a disease. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. My disease is I have a crush on every girl I've ever met," which I was like, it's close to something.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, I crushed." I was like, "I'm the funniest person that's ever existed.
Did you do well?
To do this."
Did people laugh?
People laughed.
Well, because you
jokes
could say anything and it would be funny.
The jokes weren't quite there. The personality and confidence was very high, so it like balanced out.
It worked, yeah. Sometimes if they get up and they just are so confident, you'll just laugh. The joy of comedy is that it's not funny.
No.
Right. Well, the crowd, and it's an open mic, so they weren't expecting like anything, a bunch of crazy, really good, well-written jokes. They were just like trying to get by, and I was like, here you go. So it was fun.
And you were like, you came away from that being like, I'm a fucking god. Like, this is what I meant to do.
And that's my toxic trait, is that I do things like 3 times, and I'm like, no one's ever done this better than me right now. I was like, no one could possibly be better. I'm like an aficionado. I was born to do this. I'm a living legend. People will like write me in books about how good this is.
You have to have that kind of confidence, though.
You do.
Well, and I had moved out here to do it, so I was having one of those moments where I was like, I'm finally living my dream. You know, like I moved here from the Midwest, so I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And I was like, finally, a star has been born. Like I was like, it's starting now. The story starts now.
The biopic begins.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I loved it so much.
And
I still love doing it like as much. So that's good.
Yeah, you're fucking amazing at it. I remember when I first started, like you were one of the first people that I ever saw. You were also one of the first people in comedy to ever like be nice to me and like make me feel like I was good at it.
You're so good at it.
Thank you.
Talk about you, me and my girlfriend, constantly. Or Mackenzie and I, everyone who has seen you do stand-up can't stop talking about you.
That is just makes my head explode.
When I bring up Bailey Norton, I have people that go, "You mean Granois?" That's how like fucking.
Oh my god, really?
Yes, you're like impactful. You're unbelievably talented,
dude.
You're so good.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have that confidence. Like when I first did it, I was a good joke writer, I think, and the first joke I ever told was awful. It was awful, but like it worked in the setting that I did it in. I did the Lyric Hyperion open mic.
Nice.
I was 22 or 23.
A baby.
A small baby. And I did not have like the confidence. And I knew that I liked performing and that I was good at it, but I blacked out and I like wasn't sure what I was saying, and it was like a 3-minute spot. I did 2 minutes. I said something about my name. It was like a Lord of the Rings joke, how my name means bailiff or steward, like the steward of Gondor. It was something like that.
Very nerdy.
Very like, but it got like a big laugh for some reason. And there was obviously that wasn't the whole joke. I don't remember what I said, but it got a big laugh and I went, Oh, thank God. I was just like,
it worked.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
There's a lot riding on this.
You unload the pistol.
It was very like, it's this or bust. Like,
Yeah.
it's this or
I
I
got
go back to
one
Missouri.
last joke in me.
It was
Wow.
very that. And then I just like, I was just so nervous. I was so scared of doing stand-up because I did improv and I was like, I'll never do stand-up. I'll just never do it. I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to do improv and be an actor.
No, you're so funny. You used to come to the open mic all the time and fucking crush.
Your mic was
funny.
so supportive and so fun.
Duh.
I fucking loved it. Rachel and Mackenzie Goodwin hosted this open mic at the Oaks Tavern in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking lit. Like, so many, like, good comedians would come through, and it was a really popular mic. And you two, like, had the best energy. You're so fucking funny. The first time I saw you, you were like, yeah, I just recorded an album, so I'm having to do all new jokes. And I was like, who is she? I want to be her. She's
no
so
one
cool.
saw it. That company.
You can reuse those jokes.
That company went under. Oh, yes, I
Wait,
could.
what company?
It was a digital media company bought by AT&T, and then they bought my
Sega
special,
Genesis?
and then they died. It's called Full Screen. Really fun stuff.
Really?
It was really great.
It was
It
really
was
cool stuff.
another
I
step
had
in the
to
biopic.
hire a lawyer and go into litigation.
Oh my
Remember?
God.
And we were like talking about litigation together. It was like we've had a lot of like
yeah.
interesting things kind of pulling us in similar experiences. We're very different people. We have very similar
Women
types
of the law.
Totally.
Yeah, we're kind of like bad boys.
We're kind of the bad
We're
boys
like fitness
of female
hotties.
comedy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So you do stand up too, though, occasionally.
I've dabbled.
Like, you've done stand up on my shows.
Yeah, I've done it a little bit. I did it. The first time I did it was in college in a class. We
Really?
had a show.
What
Yeah.
was the class?
It's called comedy.
No, 101.
It's just comedy.
It was just called
It was called comedy.
I went to a liberal arts school, so like in the theater department, there was kind of like, okay, senior year, then you took like a comedy survey.
How did it go?
Well, I mean, it was a supportive audience.
Yeah.
I have recently taken sketch classes, which has really improved my ability to write jokes.
Mm-hmm.
My jokes I think I've always been like funny, but like, you know, and I haven't like had that many stand-up experiences, and it's usually been in pretty supportive environments, and it's not something that I'm like, I want to be a stand-up.
You're just so naturally funny, though.
But like, in the past, my jokes have been very cerebral sometimes, and that's been my critique of myself. And taking those classes has really helped me, like, be more concise. So, like, I would always be like, what I think is really funny would end up being a little bit, like, and then I'd have some stupid joke that, like, was very funny. Or, like, very, like, people react. So I'm always trying to simplify. But
I have almost the exact opposite problem.
Wow, so stupid.
So dumb.
Like, I went back
she's not saying words, but we like her energy.
I went
so
back
stupid, we
and
get
I
it.
watched a set that I did at Bailey's show, actually.
Oh,
it
you
was
fucking
fine.
crushed that show.
It
was
was
so good.
funny. There were some good things. But the first joke I made was about Dr. Faustus, which I'm like watching it and I'm like, in the moment I was like, oh, that's so weird they're not laughing. Okay, whatever. Like, you know, moving on. Because I'm not, the good thing about me in stand-up is that the stakes are so low. It's like, in drag, it's like they're always going to throw you a bone.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I want to do full-time in any capacity, so I'm not nervous about it, because I'm like, no matter how this goes...
Which is only to your advantage.
Yeah, I'm like, no matter how this goes,
yeah.
it's a win-win for me, because I really don't mind. It's like, I just enjoy it.
Me, every open mic, I'm like, tonight's the
I'll die! You know, yeah, the stakes aren't super high for me.
Oh my god.
Which is nice, but it's like, I like went back and I watched it and I was like, why did you do that? I was like, you know, I was like, oh, I think it's so funny that I like make this joke about Mephistopheles like popping out and like talking to me about eyelashes. And I'm like watching the play. I'm like, wow, that's so funny. And I'm like watching the playback and people are literally just like watching me, waiting for me to make a joke.
Yes.
Because I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Like, Mephistopheles is like talking to me in the mirror and I'm like, ha ha ha. And then I just kind of moved on, but I was like, oh, weird that didn't like, land.
I have that problem when I, like, if I start to bomb, like, if I do, like, if I have a very straight audience and maybe they're, like, a lot older or, like, I used to randomly, constantly get stuck with Jay Leno's crowd, like constantly.
What?
And they're very retired, they're very straight, they're very like, they want to hear like a well-written joke by a famous guy.
Yeah. Very like,
what did the Waka can say to the cheese shop?
And all.
I'd love to hear the rest of this, actually.
What the fuck?
Get me some Munster, baby!
Honestly, you would fucking tear it up at that crowd. I can feel myself. This is what happens. I'll start realizing that they don't like a particular topic or thing. And then I can't stop but running right into it. Towards it. Like fumbling, falling like down a fucking flight of stairs. And then I'll be like, well, I wonder why they didn't like me. I called them all a huge gay slur to their faces multiple times. And it's not working. And then I'm like, okay, that's my problem.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess not everyone wants to be called a dyke 1,000 times.
I do.
Oh my god, you're a beautiful dyke.
I would enjoy that. But also, like, is bombing even, like, it's like, comedy is so interesting to me because it's like the same. It's like, you know, so the material is always good. If it works with one crowd and then
it doesn't work.
People don't laugh, it doesn't mean that you did poorly.
Yeah.
It's just like literally like this retirement home that I just did. Like they didn't laugh at anything because they physically could not.
Right.
And it felt like I was bombing. I was
they
like,
hold
wow.
up little signs that say ha ha ha.
Yeah. I was like, this was the first time that I was like, maybe I'm bombing. Maybe this is what this feels like.
That was the first time, and it was for people that are so...
shit.
Well, not like, I mean, like, I've done things and people haven't laughed or whatever. I just, again, I don't think of it as high stakes at all. I just think, like, okay, I know I'm funny, so, like, if people don't laugh, maybe they're just watching, or, like, maybe they're deaf.
You're
or,
like, it's their issue.
Like, it's, like, a them problem.
Yeah. They must be,
They must be ill, or...
That's nice.
No, like, or just, like, I was talking about this with my therapist, actually, about how I feel like one of the reasons I haven't formally gone into comedy is that my relationship with it is very earnest and very, like, spiritual, where it's like, I just want, like, I love the word. I'm not saying, like, oh, like, comedians don't think like this. I'm saying that, like, I don't want, like, there's a lot of toxicity in that.
Yeah.
There's toxicity everywhere. But, like, you know, it's like...
Comedy notoriously.
Notoriously, comedy can
Absolutely.
be a very, like, tough... Like, I just love the work of it so much. And, like, you know, sometimes I ghostwrite. And it's like, I just want them to be funny because it's, like, it's just such a beautiful feeling to, like...
Aww.
To, like, tap into it. And it's so fun to, like, write jokes with people and, like... do that, but in a lot of environments it can be just so hostile that it's like and competitive that I'm like,
it's very tied to ego and it can be messy.
I'm like, I don't want to. I would rather write alone for nothing and like tap into that joy than like feel like I'm like on the chopping block or something like that.
That's really...
So you guys should quit and become drag queens.
Let's all quit comedy.
Yeah, that's the takeaway. One last topic.
Yeah, let's do one last one.
This has been such a joy.
Oh my god, I'm so amazing.
I know, I hope it's still recording.
School play.
Ooh.
Who wrote
What
this?
was your first school play? I wrote it, it's mine.
Gorge.
Yeah.
Look at your little
What
handwriting.
was the first school play you were in?
I was in, what's the one with Wendy and Peter Pan?
What's the play with Peter Pan in it?
Movie
it's on the
with Harry
tip of
Potter
my
and
tongue.
The Sorcerer's
yeah,
Stone.
what's the movie with the guy,
Who
the
were
Harry
you?
Potter?
I was Michael. I passed as a boy for most of my adolescence.
Your entire life.
Until like very recently, I passed as a boy, and proudly so.
Oh
so I played Michael.
Also a notoriously gender bendy play.
Oh, 100%. Of all the gender bendy ones, it's Peter Pan.
Peter
Pan.
Yeah. So there were only 4 parts that got to fly. We got like actual harnesses.
They did that.
In middle school. A middle school got to fly.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got to be hoisted up in the air. It was like only Peter Pan and Wendy and Michael and George got to fly. And I was
Everyone
like,
was so
fuck
jealous.
yeah, the dog didn't get to fly.
Stupid
Fuck
dog.
Nana.
Hook didn't get to fly.
Do you have an animal?
We had a human playing a dog as God intended. And we had a dog.
Did they just steal the show every night?
No, I fucking did. Obviously.
Yeah, you did. Do you remember any of your lines?
I don't remember the lines because I was mostly, I feel like it was more of a musical, so we were singing a lot.
Was that what? Because there's an actual musical version of Peter Pan.
Yeah.
And I don't know any of the songs.
Yeah, it was like
but it's
like
not the
Tender
Disney
Shepherd.
song.
It wasn't like Disney song. It was like very much like I can fly, I can fly, I can fly, I can fly, I can fly.
But that's the Disney.
Like over
that's
and over.
Disney.
That's the Disney one?
For 90
So
minutes.
maybe they used that
They
song.
might have, I don't know. But it was a lot
Mary
of
Martin
fun.
was in the original production, just in case anyone's
Okay,
wondering.
if anyone's wondering, Mary Martin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Name drop.
Originated the role.
It was gorge.
And then,
fun.
so you don't remember any of your lines?
Or the songs, really.
Or the songs, or the experience, other than flying.
Other than flying, and I had the biggest, our gym teacher, who was a woman, also directed the Peter Pan. Yeah, she was like the director of the play, of the musical.
Fantastic.
And she was, everyone had a crush on her. She was like
wow.
24. She was 24 and
What
like...
was her, like, what was she like?
Nose ring?
Nose
Hot.
Red thongs. You could see the top of them.
You could
Hot.
see the top. Okay.
I call that a Bill Clinton trap.
Wow. So we're Midwest,
Yeah. She was a boxer.
wearing a thong,
Oh, she
directing
hot.
the musical, and being a gym teacher.
Yeah, and she was like spray tan,
gay?
like I don't know. I mean, she seemed very straight, but like in a very sporty way. She kind of had your vibe, honestly.
Sporty Spice, a little bi, a little scared of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she was
Wow.
unbelievable. And she loved me. She gave me like multiple awards for playing
Awards?
Michael.
What awards did you get?
Like best actor.
Wow! You won the Oscar that year.
Yeah, I was like, she wants to fuck me.
At your school.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty good play.
That's really cool.
Awards.
Yeah.
Ooh, we did that at our high school. We had a sort of like a ceremony, and we all voted. Everyone voted.
The cast voted?
The entire department.
That
Oh
seems
my God.
dangerous.
Even in the like the
Popularity
young
contest.
the
Yeah,
youngins did it too,
literally.
like the freshmen. It was like an open ballot. It was much like being in the academy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
What was your
God.
first play?
My first play was Bye Bye Birdie. I played the mayor. Changed my life.
Do you remember any lines?
Oh God. I gave Conrad the key to the city. I wasn't loud enough. No mics.
You remember your
In my middle
mistakes.
school, we were, and the drama teacher hated musicals,
Oh.
so she would cut all the songs.
No.
Wow.
They were dramas.
That's-
Oh, that sucks.
And the book, the scripts of musicals are notoriously like the worst part. Just nonsensical.
yeah, you get to the point where you get to sing.
Get to the singing, but
Yeah.
she cut all the songs. She really didn't
Ugh.
like it. She didn't like music.
Like a total Miss Trunchbull.
Very weird, but
Yeah.
total
Total
mistrustful. She was psycho. Her name
So
was
negative.
Miss Kashope.
Ugh.
She told me I wasn't talented
That's
What?
incorrect. Also, you can't say that to a child.
in front of the entire.
What a
No.
piece of shit. Are
It,
you
wa-
kidding me?
it wasn't. It wasn't. I thank her for it now because it was a very like formative moment in my life. But she was making a reference to my work ethic, which was strong. So she was like, so it was a bit of a compliment, but to a child's ears,
You don't fucking
pretty
say that to a
unpleasant.
kid.
Yeah,
so
that's
in front of the whole
good.
cast, she was like, "You all need to look and watch Joe because Joe doesn't have a lot of talent on stage.
Oh
Joe isn't
God.
that talented, but he has a really strong work ethic. So he's gonna go
Far.
go further." And I was like,
At the expense of your having natural talent.
"Yeah."
That is such a fucked up way to
It was
word
a little
that.
fucked up, and I remember thinking like, "I really don't think you're on to something with this, but
Right.
I will accept it."
I'll take the
and
compliment.
I will. Take
I
it
love
on
that. I really don't think you're onto something.
I really think you might be wrong because I was, 11, which is not normally when someone peaks.
No, that's
And
not a
if
good time.
they do, it's like a really bad time. to
Yeah,
peak,
yeah,
so
yeah. And no microphones.
no microphones.
You just had to shout.
Just had to shout, but weird.
Here's the key
No
to the
microphones,
city.
but a glue-on mustache.
Hysterical.
Sure. Yeah,
The
Hysterical.
priorities of this production were
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
all over the place.
What other
Wow.
musicals did you do?
We did then in high school. We did Les Miserables. Very
Damn.
high budget production of Les. I went to a performing arts school. We had the turntable. They had the budget for this musical was $100,000.
Oh my
They
God.
hired
Ben Shapiro, are you listening
Ben Shapiro,
to this?
Are you listening? They hired. It was insane because it's actually quite funny because the school I went to was like coming out of its. When I got there, it was coming out of its heyday as like a performing arts school. They had just done like Chicago and had made all this money. And they were like, we're gonna do Les Miserables. They hired the director of like the touring cast of
what
the
the
Broadway
fuck?
production, who had been in it, all his like,
Oh my god.
all of it. It was so intense.
That's amazing.
It was 3 hours long.
Yes, it was.
It was unbelievably over. I was in the ensemble. I had 4 wig changes. Wig changes.
Wait, was it good though? In your
No
opinion?
one came.
No!
It
so
struggled.
sad.
It lost. It crippled.
Oh my
the
god.
department because it was so high budget.
Yeah.
Huge frills, just giant.
Wig.
No one wanted to see it.
The wig budget alone. I mean,
I
is
remember
so
a
sad.
weird moment where I was in like the one of the back areas getting the hair person because there was a hair technician.
Wow.
Because there were so many wigs. I was sitting in a wig getting a haircut. My wig was getting a haircut.
oh my god.
A $90 haircut.
No.
Like this guy was like
No.
a top tier LA hair guy.
What the
Giving me a
fuck?
$90 haircut to this gray wig.
Fuck.
Because I played the bishop.
Gorgeous.
And I remember thinking, I was like, this is wrong.
That's not good.
I was like, this
Overkill.
is
They're making
too
more than the
much.
teachers.
I was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
I was like, this is way too much. It was really,
that
it was
voice.
like, it was terrible.
She's so talented. Who is
We
she?
were children. No
Right.
matter how talented
Yeah.
we were, it
You
was
could
not,
never tell that story.
We were not.
Yeah.
Right, and no one wanted to see it. Everyone was like, we're not sitting. Also, the tickets were $30.
Shit.
Yeah, you're not going to that.
It was
No.
so funny.
Even the parents
because
were
it
like,
just-
see,
the
I'll pick you
parents
up
didn't want to
after.
take that. Yeah, my parents? Are you kidding?
It's $10 an act. We're not
That's-
doing that.
Hell yeah.
It was
Look at
3
your
hours
dad.
long. They were like, absolutely not.
Yeah, fuck
We'll
that.
support you, but like, no. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had so
Do
many
it for us.
costume
Do this
changes.
your wig changes at home after for
So
free.
many costume and wig changes. I mean, obviously the full orchestra, but
Yeah.
like, you know,
Right.
that was we always had a pit orchestra, but like, it was so over the top, and it was just hysterical
Wow.
because we would look out, it's just so many empty seats.
That's so sad.
Just
So
seats.
that
funny.
sucks.
Oh,
For that long march of a show.
That's-
just
yeah.
like, yeah.
one day more.
I know, and like no
Ugh.
one could sing it.
Yeah, no.
It was a mess, but it looked like Broadway.
Barcelona
Yeah, exactly. It was
Watching children do.
Les Miserables.
We did Fiddler on the Roof one year, and watching
sunset.
children like in fat suits doing kind of like all of the like. There were no Jewish people in my school.
Oh,
Like,
it's-
I mean, there were.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just so
Yeah,
Lutheran.
The
Oh.
adults in our theater department were out of their minds. My freshman year, the play they did, Angels in America.
Why?
Just insane.
We did Honk Jr.
Oh, Junior! Was that your first play?
That was my first play. It was Honk
Were you a star?
Jr.
Play.
I was Henrietta the Chicken. If you
Gorge.
don't know Honk,
Oh, well,
it's the story of the ugly duckling, but it's a musical. It's
Honk!
gorgeous.
Well, if we go way back to an earlier episode of the podcast where Bailey...
This wasn't released.
I
That
know.
episode wasn't released.
But Bailey also played
Oh wait, yeah,
the
it was.
maid
I was the
in
maid in Annie.
Annie.
It was not even an orphan.
She was in one scene. Can you believe they didn't even double her up?
I was like, you mean Miss Flanagan?
No.
No.
They made this
No.
Flanagan.
No.
They
Sorry,
made
thank
the
you.
same Miss Flanagan.
Sorry, I'm like something was wrong
Miss
here.
Flappers.
Oh, that Miss Flanagan was my name.
You gave yourself a name. I notoriously was in the ensemble of production of Oklahoma and played a mysterious part named Chalmers. They gave me a name,
It
which was
Chalmers.
I scoured the script. No mention of it.
I played Alma in Music Man, which is just a
Is it a part?
pick a little, talk a little lady. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just like one of the chirpy chirps, little
Just like-
background people,
and
but
I was-
in ensemble, but does not need a name.
I was so desperate for lines that like they were gonna kick out a couple kids for going to Coachella instead of rehearsal, and I asked if I could have
Just absorb their lines.
the line.
Hey, if no one's gonna take these lines,
the
I'll take 'em.
the line, gonna give you carrots, mushrooms, and potatoes. That was the line.
That's what you.
I
thought
went
you were.
up
Earned it.
and asked for it. And
Pickle.
the guy was like,
Pickle.
what?
They're like, you want these mashed potatoes line?
I have that line.
Listen, not a lot of talent, a lot of work ethic, right here.
Truly. You know,
I
wow.
saw the opportunity.
And you went for
And you
it.
went for it.
You pounced.
Yeah.
Waiting in the wings.
Good
my
for
God.
you.
There's someone else to fuck up.
Okay, we're gonna do a pickleback. really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Really quick, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah,
it's
so
been
we're gonna.
such a pleasure
Yeah,
having
I
you.
love you guys
Rachel
so much.
Scanlon.
It's so hot in here.
It's so hot.
It's so unbelievably
sweltering.
hot.
We're
in
gonna
here.
get you out of here
So hot.
immediately.
I'm so sorry.
First, I'm gonna
Your
say
house was so nice and cool, and mine is
It's
a
very hot.
furnace.
It's challenging. Well, that's
I'm
part of the charm of the
glistening.
pod is that
This-
it's hard to do.
Yeah.
That's part of the joy.
It's physically
It-
challenging to be on this podcast.
I had a dance teacher who was like, if you're not sweating, you're not working hard.
Well then,
So think
okay,
about that.
we're working hard.
We're
You're
working very
working
hard.
I'm gonna have to
really
go
hard.
wash my wig when I get home.
All right, here's an upsetting fact that Pickle is going to chase. If you don't know, Pickleback is, I gave Pickle a fact that's hard to swallow. Pickle does the chaser, which is giving a positive spin on it.
This is a great name of this segment.
It's pretty fun.
All
this
out of
fact-
Bailey's imagination.
I'm a genius.
You're a
And
genius.
I-
It's so cute.
Thank
I'm
you
so
so
confident
much.
that that phone stopped recording.
Don't say that. Don't even say that.
Well, but now it won't be true.
Okay, good.
Genius.
Here's the fact, and this sucks, and I want you to know that I know it sucks, but this is just, I quickly did it, and here's the fact.
Okay.
Some tumors,
Damn.
some tumors can grow teeth and hair. What do we think? What do we think, Pickle? Make it
Oh
good.
man.
If
We're looking for a positive spin on
just
that.
like they just grow teeth. Are they inside? They're inside of you, though,
I have
right?
no more information.
No. That's all you're giving us.
No follow-up questions.
So like a surgeon might open
Yeah.
your body to take out a tumor, and the tumor just looks at them
Well,
with their hair and teeth.
Yes. Have you seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
No, I have not.
Have you seen it?
Not in.
Okay. There's a part where she talks about having a tumor that had.
And
anyway,
that
doesn't
was
matter.
Or
was
the
your
movie *Malignant*
research.
that just came out last year. The horror
Okay.
movie *Malignant*.
Oh, wait,
the
haven't
tumor
seen it.
has teeth. Okay, positive spin.
Positive spin.
You are never alone.
Ah, yes. yes.
You're carrying someone with you. It gives you something to. It gives when the horror of having cancer. The funny story. So it gives you
Hysterical.
It gives you like a. And my tumor. That's a good joke. For dinner
Material.
parties, material
material.
gives you material.
It's
You
material
can't
and
write
companionship.
That. You can't write that happening.
Okay.
You know when something happens to you in life and you're just like, you can't write that.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
I met a hooker that I had hired. Is that the right term? That's wrong.
It felt good when you said
Worker.
it.
Sex
I
worker.
love saying
I think
hooker.
if other people said it, I'd be like, that's harsh. But the
But
way
yeah.
you said it, it felt really positive.
Felt really positive. Yeah, sex work is work. But yeah, I met. Never mind. We'll edit that out.
I
No more
can't
hooker.
edit. I can't edit this
out.
podcast.
Okay, well.
I can't.
Anyway,
I
you're
won't
never
know how to do
alone, and
that.
it gives you something to talk about.
Wow.
I love
and you
that.
can email us to find out the story about the sex worker.
Yes, you can. Yeah, send us an email, pickleandbailey@gmail.com. Give us a 5-star rating. Our Instagram is Hot Topic with Pickle and Bailey.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, where
Rachel?
can people find Rachel?
You can find me at Rachel's Safety. I have a podcast called I Love You. Rachel Scanlon. Pickle's been on it. Bailey will be on it. So check that out on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Also,
Are we
Rachel
even
is
available?
such a funny comedian. Please go see her shows.
Check
She's
her
a fucking
out.
genius.
San Francisco in a few weeks, whenever this comes out.
Yeah, and you can listen. This will come out this Friday.
Oh, great. Yeah.
We are on a tight ship.
Great.
That is about to
A
sink.
sinking ship.
You
as
can,
I would
of
say.
course, listen to our podcast on Sega Genesis.
You can listen to us if you listen very quietly to
You
the ocean.
can listen to our podcast by having been in this room at the time of its recording.
If you have certain AM radio channels,
You
I'm
just
trying
if you're
to
driving
try to
through
hack
the Coachella
that.
Valley and you like kind of
You tune it.
tune it ever so slightly, we are on the channel between 89.3 and 89.7.
You gotta toggle it, but it can't
It's somewhere
work.
in there. It changes.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching or listening or both. We love you. Rachel Scanlon. That's it.
Finn. Good night and good luck.
I blew a